Hey, what's up guys? Lumion just released their newest version, Lumion 11. There are some really cool features in it, and I would like to go through some of them with you in today's video. Before I share my top features about this new version, I want to let you know that I have a free training called 10 Secrets to Achieve Realistic 3D Renders, where I share my secrets and show how to make this interior render in Lumion. So don't forget to sign up. I'll leave a link in the top right corner and in the description below this video. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So this is the new version of Lumion. And I want to start by showing you their updated user interface. They listened to some of the things that the community was asking, and the new updates are very welcome. So we can see that this interface now, it's more modern, the design, comparing to the older versions. If we go, for example, to the settings, they also organize this into categories, and we have now image, input, and system. So you don't have all the things together, so it's, as I said, more organized. Let's go back. In the Create New, you also have new templates that you can use. You have a beach environment, a desert environment, winter environment, and a design showcase. Let me open this showcase for you. And this design showcase, it's basically the same blank template that you had before. If I go here, they just added this dome in the sky. For example, if I turn it invisible, you'll see that it's still the same blank template. But now with this, you can showcase better any product that you want, or a building or any structure. Now let's go back to the Create New, and let's select, for example, this beach environment. So now you see that we have this nice beach environment. Actually, this material of the sun looks quite nice. And they also added a feature that it's really useful now. If you go here, let's say, for example, in the render, let's go here to real skies. If I wanted to change this, I can rotate this around the sky. And actually, let me change to another that you can see clearly what I'm doing. So if I rotate this, if I wanted to be very specific to a point, I would have to double click, this turns red, and I have to delete, and then I can type specifically what I want. And this feature was not very intuitive, right? You don't guess that you have to double click and then you have to erase the value and put a new one. So now they added this here, type in value. So at any time you can just click here, see, and there's this value, and just type the exact value that you need. And this doesn't work only for the photo mode. So let me show you here in build mode. You have, if you select this tree, let's say, and instead of going to the slider as well, you can just type in here the value that you want, okay, and it will change. Basically, almost everywhere that you have a slider, now you also have this type in value, and you can type in the values that you want. Another feature that they added was the snapping. So now every time that you try to rotate an object, it will automatically snap between 0, 90 and 180 degrees. So this is quite useful, but as always, you can always go here and just select this manually, but it's nice that they implemented this feature. Another cool thing they added, in the previous versions of Lumion, you can just rotate the trees or any model in one axis, okay? So like this. But now they allow you to rotate the trees as well, like this, with the pitch and with the bank as well. So this allows you to be a little bit more creative and even to create some more variations. You know, if you just rotate a little bit and the other one will be vertically, okay, it already creates some variation, and this type of variation is very important when you want to create realistic renders. Another nice feature they added is the randomize size by percentage. So if I go here and I select any tree, well, any tree will do. Let me just remove this one, okay. Now if I select all of them and I go here, randomize size, now I have this new slider. If I wanted just a little bit of a small change in the size, I'll put here about 10%, or a big change, you know, 50%. So this gives you a little bit more control to create this variation. Another great feature in the user interface that I want to show you is the color picker tool. So now they really improved this, and now if you click this tab here, choose color, now you see that it looks more like as you see in any other application. You can choose here the color, and then here you control how bright or how dark the color is. And if you go to show more, you can even just paste the color code that you have. Before, you would just mouse over this area, and then you have to paste it on top of this, or to copy the color you have to Control C and then Control V on top of this area. But now we have control here. You even can put the ASV values or the RGB. So let's say I wanted to put 128, 128 and 128. So this middle gray. And if I put it like this. So this is a very nice feature. And also they included this RAL colors. So this is a European RAL color standard. And they have here a lot of colors already that you can choose from. And this is great because even sometimes with the lighting, you are there just picking the right color. And now here, let's say that you really like this this orange tone for the light, you'll always have it here, ready for you to use. So now let's reduce this. So this new color picker is a really great improvement. Another feature that I want to show you is the fine detail shadows for spotlights. This is very important, especially for people who say that they are struggling with their interiors in Lumion. This really helps you to achieve higher realism in your interiors. So let me just show you. I can go here now to lights, and let me select, can be this one. Let's place here the light. I'm gonna move it up. Okay, I'm gonna put it here to the maximum. And as I showed you before with the colors, see you have here this RAL. You can just choose any color here. So actually let me just choose something more like this. No, it's too much. So it can be like this. Okay. Okay, and now if you go to the render mode, let me just go here with this evening scenario. Let's go inside. I'm just going to disable the depth of field. So if you don't see any shadows when you are here in this render mode, you should just press F8 and you will see the shadows. So now if you go here to shadow, you have to activate the here shadow type normal and then fine detail shadows. Okay, and now when you render, so now the shadows, first of all, all of these parts here and here, in the previous version of Lumion, you wouldn't see any of this. It wouldn't catch all of these small details. They have higher resolution as well. And if I showed you here a version that I did in Lumion 10 of the same scene, and then I showed you the Lumion 11, here, if you focus just on the shadows, you will see that on this version of Lumion, you'll see all of these details on the shadows here. And on this one, you can barely see them. And even here, or even this shadow here, it's completely different than this. See all of these details here, and here as well. Even here, see all of these shadows that is completely lost in this Lumion 10 version. So Lumion 11 can really help you to create better interior renders. And now that we are on the subject of lighting, I want to show you one new feature they implemented. It's called Custom ES Profile. And in this profile, even many manufacturers of lighting, they allow you to download this profile, so you will have similar lighting as the real ones. And here you can see the preview. This is from the side how it looks. And if you hold Alt, you see from the top view how it is. And you can click here, replace, and let's select this one or this one. So you see how this really changes the type of light, how it will be. Or maybe like this, like this. You see how this is just focusing here. Okay, but this was a little bit limited. You just had, even though it's a lot of options, you only had these ones, right? So now you can go to Google and just search for any free download ES lights pack, and you'll find many. And I found this one from Leo Moon Studios. And you can just click here for free download, and then just go back to Lumion and click here, and now you'll see this load custom ES profile. So now we have all of this. So let's select this one, pair. Okay, so this one, you can see how it is. It's actually very wide. So let's see another one, scatter light. So you can see that I'm going to decrease a little bit so it's better to see. So you can see a little bit of these differences here. Okay. And let's see another one. This one, or let's see, cylinder narrow. So this allows you to really build much more on top of what Lumion already offers you. Now, another feature I want to show you, it's proxies. These proxies are very useful when you have a very heavy scene, and this will help you to maintain a decent frame rate. And before you go to these proxies, I just want to tell you that they also have new example scenes. They had for a very long time the same example scenes. So now this is actually quite good, they added this. So let's open this scene. Let's say, give me this one. So now I want to show you that by default, this proxies is off. And basically, if you have a big scene with a lot of elements and you're just flying around, you will still see basically all the elements here. But now, if we go to the settings, and they have two options here on under image. Use proxies on or auto. If you select on, they will be all the time trying to replace the models, and with auto, just when the camera moves. And this also will activate when your scene drops to lower than 24 frames per second. You can see this frame rate here on the top corner, and you can see that I'm already at 34 frames, and I'm with a Ultra HD resolution and with everything set to high. So in my computer it's already with 34 frames. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to start placing here more trees, so my scene will become much heavier. And so just some random trees here. Let's see this mass placement, like this. Okay, I got a lot of them. Okay, now I have here a lot of forest around. So let's go to the settings. And I will make this auto. Go back. Now you'll see that when I start moving the camera, see, when I move the camera, it's already putting these blue lines. These lines are basically telling you that there is some objects there, but you're not seeing them, so it makes this scene much more smoother, and you have a higher frame rate. Put on. So it doesn't matter that you move the camera or not. It will all the time be making these proxies if you have a low frame rate. See, when I go, it's starting to appear, if I go closer, but if I go back, see all the objects disappearing. So this is nice when you have a very large project and you want to have that stable frame rate to keep working well. Another feature they introduced in this new version, it's the metallic car paint. And before, you had these Lumion cars, and even though they were still okay, the shader was not the best. And so now, if you click here, you can select this to metallic paint, and you see the difference. So look without, how it looks, and with the metallic car paint. So now this will increase the realism in the cars as well, which is very important when you have animations with the cars and with people going around. So it's very good that they added these realistic ones. And let me go just here to this one. So if I make it metallic, so you see the difference. Let's actually go see in the render. So this is without the metallic car paint, and now this is with the metallic car paint. So especially in these areas where the sun is hitting, you see a huge difference. Look at this. So this for sure will increase the quality of the renders as well. And speaking of high quality render, you can now, when you are in this photo mode, you can simply just click on the F11. Now you can even left mouse click and you will see the render preview in full screen. So you can just fly around and try to check for the best view, you know, and maybe this will help you instead of seeing this in a smaller window. So maybe some people will like this. Another feature introduced in this Lumion 11 version, it's the orthographic views. So now let me show you how this looks. So I have here this render, and if I go here to effects, Let's go to Featured. Now you see that I have one new one called Orthographic View. So I select this one, and let's see, you have 3D, because I can still look around in this 3D mode. But let's put 2D. Okay. Now with this 2D, I can zoom in. Here on the heading, basically, I can change the view. Okay. So let's say I want this view. And on the pitch, see, let's basically it's if I want from the top, from an angle, or let's make it at 0. Okay, like this. And actually like this. Now I have this far clip. It's the amount of things that you want that are in the background to be visible. So imagine that I don't want any of those trees. I just want to show the house. So I use this far clip to show more or less. Okay. So let's say I want with some trees like this. Now the near clip, it's from the elements that are closer to the camera. So I can erase more, even the trees in the front, or just go all the way to the back. And actually I'm going to disable here the depth of field for this one and go back to orthographic and just remove that tree over there. Also, another thing that you can do, you can click here fill color, and this will fill the color of the background and the sky with whatever you choose here. So it can even be this bright red or blue, or maybe like a darker color like this. And also, if you're having trouble selecting the surface that you want to render, you can just, with your mouse, right click, and then with the move keys, you can just move around. And let's say I want this surface here on the top. And now I just click this icon here, and it will align with this surface. So now I can just rotate here to 0 and render this view. So this is a quick look at the new orthographic view. Another feature they added is the raindrops. So to add these raindrops, you need to go to the material, and you have to select this one, Glass Advanced. And with this Glass Advanced, you'll have this on the bottom, Forced Rain Streaks. So let's make it this to 1. And now, if you go to the render mode, there's nothing. There's no raindrops on the window, because you need to add the precipitation effect. So if I go to Effects, Weather, Precipitation, and now you have these new sliders here, and if I increase the rain streaks, the size of them, I'm gonna make them more or less like this so it's visible, and the offset. So okay, now this is for the render mode, so we would be seeing already this, but we can animate them. So let's just go to, first I'm just going to copy here these effects, and I'll go to movie, I'll create here a new clip, and this new clip I will just make it here. I'll add a keyframe here, maybe another here, just slightly. Okay, now I'm gonna paste the effects, and let's just play this clip. So this will give a very nice touch to your renders. Another new feature they added is the Volumetric Fire. So with this Volumetric Fire, if you go to the effects, and then you have these new ones, Volumetric Fire. So before they had these ones that were basically not the best. If you notice, it was just a billboard animated looking at you. Now, if you import any of this, let's select, can be this one. Let's put it here, and let's make it a little bit lower, and inside. Okay. Now with this one looks much better because it even has these burned parts. The fire has actually this volume, and you can still go here to the width, to the length, so you can control all of this, and the height as well. But most importantly is that they added a load button here, and if you download any texture from any texture sites of fire. For example, let's select this one. You see that it takes the shape of that fire. So in the middle there's nothing and around it's on fire. So this can be useful when you want to make the fire around a specific shape, and you just make the texture like that shape and just import it here. Or even, let's select another one like this, or let's see, even some fireworks. Or you can even get creative and, for example, this blue fire. So you see already some tones of this blue fire. It could be nice to have this even for some cooktop, for example, some gas cooktop. So you can control all of these parameters, the intensity. No, let's reduce the height. A little bit like this. So this is a very nice addition to the new Lumion 11. A new feature that Lumion added in this version, it's called animated phasing. And this animated phasing basically it allows you to animate all the objects and showing the construction phase happening. For example, this is an example scene from Lumion. And you would have to have all of these objects separated into several layers to be able to do this type of thing. But it's actually quite nice. They already integrated this with Lumion. And so you have all of these tools to create these animations. And if we go here to animated phasing, let's click edit. And now you see that this has a timeline with all the controls, for how long it will take this animation. And if you are familiar with software, for example, like Premiere, you'll probably know this type of timeline. I'll probably make a video later about this more in detail, but for now, just show you that they have this new feature, and it's a nice addition to the software. Lumion also added new fine detail nature. If you just type here new, you'll see all the elements that are new. So you can see that there is a lot of content new for this fine detail nature, which is quite nice because even lately I've been using this a lot in my project, especially when they are close to the camera, to have all of these nice details. So to have more variety, it's more than welcome. And now we even have these ferns with high detail. So as you can see here, I start placing a couple of those here. Oops. So you can see they have very high detail. And since we are in this section, I want to show you that in the Nature tab, they also add a section called Widths. And this is quite nice because sometimes even around the trees, you want to cover the tree because a tree, it's never like this alone. So usually it has some grass elements. So all of these small elements, they are quite useful to build your scene and to make it more realistic. So they have a huge variety of those here that you can add. So this is quite nice. Also, they added new skies. So if I go here, actually this view, real skies. And before you had all of this from Polygon. Now, as you can see, you have this new one in the clear sky section. Okay. And if you go to this cloudy, you'll have this one extra. Then you have in the evening a lot more as well. And morning as well, some of them. Overcast, you just had 3, now you have 6 more. So a lot more options here for the overcast. Sunset, I think there was no changes, yeah. And the night as well. So that is for the real skies, and it's always nice to have more variety. So they also added new content to the library. It's 401 in total, as they say in their site. And as you can see, they have a lot of models, a lot of new models for the fine detail nature, more elements for nature, and for transport, more cars, more interior objects. And not only that, they also added new materials to their library. As you can see, it comes with 63 new materials, and they here put all the categories of the new materials. But let me go here inside Lumion and just show you some of these new. So if you go to people And now if you search for new, you'll see all the new people or animals that they added. They also added in the section of people a new category that you can go here, people 3D. So now you can add this people. This will not work for movies, but they will work for well for renders, especially if it's a scene that you just want a lot of these people in the background. So this one will do just fine. And as for transport, they also added a couple more. So you can see all of the new vehicles they added. And even for the objects, again, if you go here, every time you just type new, you'll see all the new objects that they added. Actually, I would like to point out one important thing they added. Let me just go inside this here, even though it's not detailed, but doesn't matter. They added these switches, which is very good that they did that, because this gives a extra realism, because in every house you have all of these switches and many people forget them. And here now you can just go here to this library and you just start placing them around. Now as for the materials, I think that in the materials you're not able to do this new, but let's see, if you go to indoor, for example, now we have carpet. I think that we can compare with this. So we have new fabric, leather, some plaster, some wood. So if we go back to Lumion, let's see, this carpet, for example, this one. Okay, so we have now these materials. Let's see wood. Yeah, now we have this ever motion that wasn't available before, these materials. And let's see what else. Actually, this one, ever motion, so probably it's a new one as well. So you can just scroll through these materials and see what else do they got new. Okay. Actually, let me try this one here. Yeah, this one is cool. So this was just a quick look at some of the most important features inside the new Lumion. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget that you can sign up for my free training, my top 10 secrets to achieve realistic 3D renders. I'll leave a link in the top right corner and in the description below this video. And I'll see you in the next video.